Hi there. This is the devastating Jupiter trap in the Italian, and it's named after the king of the gods in Roman mythology. After e4 and e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, standard moves in the Italian. White goes for the most aggressive line here, c3, to get a d4 pawn break. Well, black responds with the sensible knight f6, and now d4 is met by e takes d4. And white castles. This common position is still more or less equal, and black has to tread carefully. Knight takes e4 would appear to be dangerous since it opens up the e-file, but that is going to be equal. That's probably black's best bet, or even d takes on c3. But if black tries to get his king in safety, which usually is the sensible thing to do with castles, this is wrong at the moment because it allows white a clear initiative after c takes on d4, hitting the bishop. The bishop drops back to b6, and now the pawns are so harassing and menacing in the center. First, the d pawn spreads its wings and marches on to d5. That's hitting the knight. So the knight drops back to e7, and now the other pawn on e4 moves up to e5. That's hitting the knight on f6. Black really is in a precarious position here. If that knight were to jump to g4, let's just put that move in, knight g4, white could continue with h3, and the best black could do would be to take on f2, and it looks as if white would certainly be pressing for a win in that position. So rather than play knight g4, which is probably black's best chance, the knight retreats to e8. But now this move d6, and I've seen this in many variations of the Ponziani, this idea. The idea being after c takes on d6, or even if the knight would have moved to c6 straight away, c takes d6, e takes d6, and now the knight has moved off to g6, bishop g5 is coming, and that queen is in serious trouble. The f pawn is pinned, it can't interpose, can't move. So the knight on e8 jumps to f6. Here white gets more forces in, knight c3. After h6, hitting the bishop, black desperately has to get rid of that pin, but white can ignore the threat and add more forces. Queen d3 means that white is threatening queen takes on g6, since the f pawn is pinned to the bishop on c4. And if the king moves to h7 out of the pin, then there's many wins here for white. Rook a e1 is certainly winning. Knight e4 is winning. Probably scoring less on a computer engine, but with a more direct approach, is bishop takes on f7, because now if rook takes on f7, then knight e5 is hitting the rook, as well as that hapless knight pinned on g6, which has to go. The best black can do maybe just simply take the bishop on h5, which has been hanging for some moves. H takes on g5, but queen takes on g6 check. After king g8, the queen also picks up the rook, and white is clearly winning. So this has been the Jupiter trap in the Italian. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.